Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast where we make learning English simple, practical, and even a little surprising. Today's topic is something that sounds almost unbelievable. Can you really speak English fluently with only 500 words? Yes, you actually can. Not perfectly. Not like a professor or a novelist. But enough to communicate, ask questions, share ideas, and understand daily conversations. In fact, many language experts say something fascinating. The most common 500 English words make up around 70% of everyday conversations. That means if you master just those common words, you already understand a large part of the language people use every day. Today we will explore why 500 words can make you fluent. Some of the most powerful everyday words, fun trivia about the English language, and how you can use these words to speak naturally. Let's begin. First, let's understand an important idea in language learning. Not all words are equally important. English has more than 170,000 words currently in use. That sounds overwhelming. If someone told you that you must learn 170,000 words to speak English, you might want to quit immediately. But here is the secret. Most of those words are rarely used. In daily conversation, people repeat the same words again and again. Think about it. Words like I, yes, go, come, want, need, good, bad, make, take, think, no. These simple words appear everywhere in English conversations. Because of that, linguists discovered something called high-frequency vocabulary. These are words that appear most often in speech, and the top 500 of these words form the backbone of everyday English. Let's try a simple example. Imagine you only know these words. I want to eat rice. You can already say a sentence. I want to eat rice. Now add a few more. I want to eat rice. Now, because I am hungry. Now your sentence becomes, I want to eat rice now because I am hungry. You see what happened? With very few words, you already created a clear message. This is how language works. Communication is not about using complicated vocabulary. It is about combining simple words effectively. Now here is a fun trivia. Trivia number 1. The word "the" is the most used word in English. It appears in almost every sentence. In fact, some studies say that "the" alone makes up about 7% of all English text. That means if you read 100 words in English, about 7 of them might be the word "the." Small word, huge power. Here is another fascinating trivia. Trivia number 3. The longest word in a major English dictionary is pneumoultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. It refers to a lung disease caused by inhaling very fine silica dust. It has 45 letters. But here is the funny part. Almost nobody uses that word in real conversation. So even though English has very long and complex words, most daily speech relies on short ones. In fact, the average length of words used in conversation is around 4 to 5 letters. Short words dominate communication. Let's explore a practical example. Imagine a tourist visiting a new country. They might only know simple words, yet they can still communicate clearly. For example, hello, where is the train? I need water. How much? Thank you. These sentences are simple, but they work. Communication happens. This is the true goal of language learning. Not perfection, not complexity, but clarity. Here is another interesting fact. Trivia number 4. English borrows words from many languages. Some estimates say that English vocabulary comes from Latin, French, Germanic languages, Greek, and many others. That is why English sometimes has multiple words for the same idea. For example, ask and inquire, help and assist, start and begin. Usually, the simpler word is used more in everyday conversation. So if your goal is fluency, focus on simple words first. Now let's talk about something important for learners. Word combinations. Fluency is not just about knowing words individually. It is about knowing how words go together. For example, make a decision. Take a break. Have a good day. Give me a minute. These are called collocations. Native speakers use them naturally. Learning common word pairs helps you sound more fluent even with limited vocabulary. Let's try another quick demonstration. With only a few words, you can create many ideas. Suppose you know these words. Go, want, food. Now, home, tired. Work. Tomorrow. You can already say, I want food now. I go home now. I am tired. I work tomorrow. These sentences are simple but effective. Language grows from these small building blocks. Here is another fun trivia. Trivia number 5. The English alphabet has 26 letters, but English has about 44 sounds. That means some letters combine to create new sounds. For example, de, ash, she. This is why English spelling can sometimes feel confusing. But the good news is that pronunciation becomes easier with practice and exposure. Now let's talk about the idea of word frequency again. Researchers analyzed millions of books, conversations, and articles. They discovered something amazing. The 100 most common English words make up about 50% of everyday language. Yes, just 100 words, half of the language. When you expand to 500 words, you understand roughly 70% of daily conversations. When you learn 1,000 words, you may understand around 85%. So progress grows quickly in the beginning. That is why beginners improve fast when they focus on high-frequency vocabulary. Let me share a helpful mindset. Instead of asking, how many words do I need to learn? Try asking, which words will I use the most? This small change can make learning faster and less stressful. Imagine learning 10 useful words every day. In 50 days, you already know 500 words. That is enough vocabulary to begin speaking confidently. Here is another small trivia. Trivia number 6. The shortest complete sentence in English is, I am. 2 words, yet it expresses a full idea. English allows powerful meaning with very small sentences. Let's talk about fluency. Many learners think fluency means speaking very fast, but that is not true. Fluency actually means speaking smoothly, expressing ideas clearly, and understanding others easily, even with simple words. A person who says, I think this idea is good because it helps people, is communicating effectively. No complicated vocabulary is required. Here is a simple exercise you can try. Choose 10 common words. For example, go, make, think, good, bad, want, come, see, know, give. Now try to make 10 sentences using them. You might say, I want to go home. I think this is good. Come see this. Give me a minute. I know the answer. Just like that, you are practicing real English. Before we end, here is the key message of today's episode. English fluency does not require thousands of difficult words. It begins with mastering the most common 500 words. These words appear again and again in daily conversations. When you understand them and use them confidently, communication becomes much easier. Remember, simple words, clear ideas, consistent practice. That is the formula. So the next time you feel overwhelmed by the English language, remember this. You do not need to know everything. You only need to start with the words people use the most. And from there, your vocabulary will grow naturally. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed learning how 500 words can unlock English fluency, stay curious, keep practicing, and keep speaking. Because every sentence you say is one step closer to confidence. Thank you for listening.